Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Prefab Fam. Today we are redoing our pantry. We are going to be painting with some pepper. I'm super excited to show you guys that one. I also just wanted to talk a little bit before we got started about something that's kind of making the rounds on Instagram right now. I'm super excited that it's like becoming a trend, or trending, I guess, whatever the youths say these days. But the hashtag is slow intentional design. So I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of this, but basically the idea is that, all of these Instagrammers and YouTubers, they take rooms and they redo it in a week or in a day. And even sometimes whole houses on, HGTV get redone in seems like, a week or so. The designs are beautiful. I'm not bashing on the designs, but the whole point of slow intentional design is that you slowly and intentionally design the space around you. So if it takes like 6 months for you to redo your bathroom, but you love it at the end and it works for your family, that's awesome. Our makeovers take a long time. Maybe we do the heavy work in a week, but it's like weeks and sometimes months of ordering things, thrifting, DIYing, designing. It's a lot. It's a lot of time, designing and preparing, and then maybe a week of like real heavy work. It's this idea that if you don't flip your entire house, in a week, it's okay. And we should just take it slow and be more intentional with our designs instead of trying to be so trendy and then, hating it a week later and thinking, oh, I can't wait to design this space and to make it over again. And I think that it takes the pressure off of needing to keep up with everybody and keep up with the trends, because you're really designing what works for you and for your family. With that being said, we did do a very quick DIY this weekend. We redid our pantry, and I'm super excited about it because what I needed more than anything was organization. And so the shelves that were in there were so old and gross. They were like covered in food stains and old contact paper, and they are made out of plywood, so they like absorbed, smells and everything. So we ripped those out since we were gonna put in new shelves, that it was time to say goodbye to the last of the terrible floral wallpaper that somebody put all over this house in the beginning. So we painted over it. Basically, I have been working really on this pantry design, even though it's just like a 3 foot by 4 foot space or something like that. I've been working on it for months, and so it looks like we just flipped this thing in 2 days. We didn't. It took a lot of planning went into this, and so even just this small space. And so I guess I just wanted to use that to encourage you. I guess that's it. So let's get to work. And lest any of you think that this process is clean by any means, I just wanted to remind you that this is what our table looked like for 2 full days for a space that was basically a closet. Our first step was to take out all of those shelves, and the screws in here were actually square, so we had to find the right drill bit for those, so it took honestly forever just to find the drill bit, but then the shelves came out super easy. Next up, we got some white paint on those walls, and as you can see, my husband graciously did this for me because I was busy with our kiddo and painting, and so I was just so grateful to him for doing this space for me. He's the absolute best. After we painted, we went ahead and screwed some brackets into the wall to hold the shelves, and this is what it looked like. You guys, it smelled so good in here, like fresh cut pine, and I love how our pantry turned out. My husband, by the way, thought he would be funny and put up some different labels, so if you spot any labels that are misspelled or that say things that seem weird, like nosh instead of snacks, you can thank my husband for that. He has a killer sense of humor. Alrighty guys, now that our pantry is nice and organized, let's get to that pepper painting. I got this gold frame at a thrift shop that was closing for $3, and it looked like it was covered in chalkboard paint and magnet strips. So the first step was to tear off all those magnet strips, which my daughter was so good at helping with. And I covered the camera here because I'm not allowed to show her face on camera, so just to help protect her privacy, she was like turning towards the camera in that moment. Good job! I'm so proud of you. My next step was to cover this whole piece with, well, first painter's tape, but next I decided to use joint compound to really level out the surface and give me something that had a little bit of texture but wasn't so messy to work with. And if you're using joint compound, you have to let it dry overnight. So I went ahead and covered the whole piece and then let it dry. Alrighty, this is the fun part. So I mixed all of my paint together, and after I had the colors that I wanted, I poured the pepper into it. And it really gave it this interesting texture that almost made the painting look like stucco, so I loved that. And yes, I am wearing llama Christmas pajama pants because, you know, sometimes you just need a pair of llama pants. Also, make sure if you're doing this, you cover the edges of your frame in painter's tape to just give it that really nice clean look. I am obsessed with how this came out. I think it looks so cool and vintage. And do you guys remember that thrift shop we went to last time called Bullet Bob's, and they had their brass section? Well, I got those candle holders for $5 from the brass section. And since I already had the other supplies, this DIY cost me $8. So I just wanted to remind you that things don't have to be expensive to look great. You can still design great things with thrifted and made items. That's all I have for you this week, and I hope you have an awesome week, guys. Bye!